Hello, welcome back to Digital Business Evolution. I'm excited beyond belief because today I have not only an incredible guest who has the most beautiful accent, but she's one of my dearest friends. And so it's just so surreal. I think this is my favorite part of podcasting is that I get to have candid off the cuff conversations with the most incredible entrepreneurs and business owners who happen to be my friends. And we record it and give it to you. So without further ado, today we have Bia Boas on. And so you might know her as Bia. That's how a lot of people know her. And so I will do her formal introduction in a second. But Bia, thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here with you.
Oh my God, you're so cute. Bia Boas, or Beatrice, is the founder of Theta Breathwork, a new cutting edge method that helps you connect with yourself on a deeper level that you probably didn't even know that you could experience. She's passionate about supporting you to find the answers within yourself to heal and to take actions within alignment in your highest potential. Bia was born and raised in Brazil and has almost 10 years of experience in the marketing industry, working in Brazil and Malaysia, which when I met you, you were still kind of like in Malaysia, going to Malaysia. Yeah. After working with many big companies like Natura and Mind Valley, she's decided to start her own business, creating a spiritual and personal development course to help people just like her and just like you, the listener, connect deeper with themselves. Bia is now helping multiple 6 and multiple 7-figure business owners take aligned action and create massive impact and income through her personalized Theta Breathwork sessions. Bia, thanks for being here.
Wow. It's so good to hear all of that. I'm like, wow, that's true. I have done all of that.
Yeah. And in such a short time, because you're like, you're not like 50, 60, 70 years old. So I don't know how you managed to do it, but you did.
I did it. And it was a crazy, crazy journey to get where I am right now. And sometimes it's so easy for us to just like look forward and the things that we want to create that we forget to do like this. Okay, let me look everything that I have done in the past and how I got where I am right now. And we are always like, especially me, I'm a hyperachiever. I want to like do a lot of things. I'm always going. So I'm like, oh, I have so many things that I want to do that I didn't achieve yet. So it's so easy for me to just look forward and like see all the things that I haven't achieved yet.
Oh my gosh.
Sometimes.
Yeah, I can totally resonate. And if you're watching the video of this, you are clearly also a very, very, very good plant mom.
That's true.
I not.
mean, Nico wouldn't say that because he just came in my office a day ago and he was like, "You're not taking care of your plants." And I forgot to put water. So I'm not a very good mom, but I'm getting there.
Well, it looks like those plants are thriving. I love it. So, oh my goodness, I want to go back. There's so many things I want to talk about. First and foremost, you're from Brazil, but you're currently living in Austin, Texas. Can you connect the dots for me?
Yes. So I was born and raised in Brazil my whole life. And I was working there, worked for almost 7 years in the same company in Brazil. And I always had this desire to learn more English and like just connect with people all over the world. But my reality was my parents couldn't afford me to do an exchange program or like live abroad, and explore more. So when I was going to college, was my first year of college, was my first opportunity to go abroad. And I traveled with my aunt and my uncle, and we just spent like a month in California, and I used my vacation. And I was like, oh my God, and my English was so bad. And I was like, I couldn't have a conversation with people. And I was trying so bad, but I couldn't really like understand everything and express what I want to express. So that moment was a moment for me, like my first year of college. This was 2011. And I told myself, I was like, you know what? I'm going to start to use my vacation and the money that I would start to work at that time as well, to just go abroad and start to learn English because it's something that I want, because I want to connect with more people. So that's how like my desires start to really like, I just want to like explore the world. I just want to like meet more people. So then every year, every vacation that I had, every time off from work that I had, I was like finding like an English course or like a marketing course abroad so I could like learn and practice English.
Wow.
So this was like 2011, as I said. And then in my last year of college, I was working a corporate like for 2 years already. I had started as an intern there, and then I got promoted, and then I got the trainee, which is like a leadership program that we have in Brazil. And it was like, I think it was like at that time, like 12,000 people trying.
Wow.
And I was one of the 25 that was selected to do the program. It was a crazy, crazy journey. And I was so proud. This was like one of my proudest moments as like a employee. I was like, oh my God, like I got it. Like I literally did that.
Yeah.
And they invest a lot in the people that are going through this program. That was my first experience with coaching as well. So they invest in you and they give you like coaching and they give you a lot of programs, workshops. And in this process, I start to notice that, yeah, I love marketing. Like I love the work that I was doing, but I was not really like feeling that I was living in my purpose.
Yeah.
And I start to ask myself, okay, so if I'm not really living in my purpose, what does that mean? Like, what is my purpose, or how do I find my purpose? And so I start to just like read a lot of books. I start to do a lot of online programs that I was finding, watch a lot of YouTube videos, Dr. Joe Dispenza, Dr. Bruce Limpton, a lot of Mind Valley work as well.
Yeah.
So I did all this like knowledge to at least fuel my soul and feel that I was at least giving what I need to find the answers that I was looking for. And in this process, I find Mind Valley, as I said. And when I find Mind Valley, I start to do a lot of course that they had. And I did a program, a conference that it's called A-Fast, and it's for speakers, authors, people who are in the personal development and industry. And I said, you know what? I'm going to just apply.
And this was like 2015?
This was 2017,
Okay.
18. 2018 was the year that
I so right before we met.
Yeah, right before we met.
Yeah.
And so I went through this program. I'm going to cut short here this story, so then we can go in details. But I went to this conference. I met the founder. I met a lot of big authors and speakers, and they had a position in Mind Valley to do the marketing team for Brazil and Portugal, and to just like expand Mind Valley. And I did that. I applied. I left my job that I was for 7 years in the same company.
Wow.
I left everything and went there. And in this process, I also met my now husband.
Yeah.
Who is American. And you were there. You remember that.
I was there the day you met.
And in this journey, I went to Malaysia. We decided to do a long distance relationship. At that time, I don't even know if we were dating. I think we were, but we never spoke about that. And it's funny enough. I remember I received a video. I think it was right before I moved to Malaysia. And it was a video, I think was you and Nick. And he was in Performex, and he was like showing the video in a big screen of one of our kisses in that event. And I was like, oh my God, I think this thing is serious. Like, I think it's real. So that's how I ended up in the US. So we met, we start to fall in love and decide that we want to be together. We had no idea how, because I was moving to Malaysia. He's from the US. I'm from Brazil. Like, how are we going to make this work? Yeah. I have no idea, but we made it. And then in 2021, last year, we got married, and then we decided to move to the US. So that's how I ended up in the US.
Oh, there's so many things. I've got chills. There's so many things that I want to talk about. I mean, of course, we could talk about, Nick and all of that, but just going back for a second, I have to give you so much credit. I want to acknowledge you for not just dreaming really big and saying, I want to connect with more people worldwide. I want to learn English, which, my gosh, I can't even imagine right now. Like, I would love to learn another language, but the act of actually doing it and taking the time out every single day to learn it, especially as an adult, or to take it a step further like you did, and to literally go to another country to do immersive learning time after time after time again, I just have to acknowledge you. And it really is such a small representation of how you approach everything in your life. And so, of course, you're having success. Of course, you're, in alignment. Of course, you found this incredible person to spend your life with. Like, it just, I want to acknowledge you. It's just huge. I think so many listeners could almost listen with a chip on their shoulders, like, must be nice, or I wish that I had that type of work ethic, or whatever they might be saying. So if that is you right now, take a deep breath in, take a deep breath out, and just allow yourself to kind of be in that trigger for a second and ask yourself some questions of why maybe it is triggering you. What are you not taking action on in your life that maybe you wish you were? Because you just make it seem so easy. And I know that it was not easy. So I want to go back now, 2018, you're working in Mind Valley, which if you're a listener and you're not sure what it is, definitely Google it. Mind Valley is a huge, huge organization. I would say, and you could correct me if I'm wrong, it's probably similar for people to something like masterclass.com or Landmark Forum. It's very personal development based. There's different opportunities of courses and coaching and different things like that. So if you're not sure what Mind Valley is, that's what it's very similar to, at least the way that I see it. So what did you go to school for? Were you in school for marketing?
Yeah, I studied advertising and marketing in Brazil. It was a college there. And I thought it was what I wanted to do, because I always love to understand what makes someone to buy something, and really like the whole advertising process and the colors that we use. This was something that was fascinating to me.
Yeah.
And I remember finishing college and I was like, I think I'm going to do a master in neuromarketing, because I really want to understand what happens in the brain when someone decides to buy something, what drives us to buy something. And little did I know that it was not exactly that direction. But yeah, I went to college to study marketing and advertising. And
amazing.
I always thought I would like to be an actress. That's how I started my journey.
Wow.
Yeah, just because I love to be on a stage. But what I learned in my own journey, it's not only about the stage, but it's that whenever I was on stage, I was giving people permission to feel and to experience the story that it was being created in that moment. And I love to hold space for people and giving them the permission to feel whatever it is that they want to feel in that experience.
Wow. I love that.
And I think that's what led me to really understand myself and see that it was in many, many moments, I judged myself because I was like, oh, all right, so I want to be an actress. So it's because I want to be famous, and it's because I want to be on stage. And then I was like, wait, that's not true. That's what I heard a lot of people saying. That's what a lot of judgmental people gave to me, and I receive and I accept and I use as my own truth. And then I was like, you know what? That's not true. It doesn't resonate to me. Why I'm accepting what others are saying of what is the truth if it's not my truth? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, it's so funny because it's the work that you do today with other people, which we'll talk about, the conscious and subconscious mind and rewiring and all of these things. So I do have to just say for the listeners, because we keep saying his name. So your husband, Nick, we ended up meeting, the four of us met. So Mike and I brought Nick and another friend to Lewis House, Summit of Greatness in 2019. And we met you and your girlfriends, and you and Nick just hit it off. And so for the listeners here, Bia is married to the one and only Nick Pags, the mindset coach inside of Digital Business Evolution, our, second client ever of Empower. I mean, the one and only Nick Pags. So you are truly family. It's just been so cool. So that's who we're talking about when we're talking about Nick, which, when I think about Nick, and this isn't about him, this is about you. But when I think about him, I think about conscious, awake, aware, someone who's doing the work. When I met him, he was going through Ultra, which is another very similar type program. And so it made sense when you both met that aside from some language, maybe trip ups and barriers, I mean, you connected just instantly around the fact that we were sort of all having these elevated conversations, which, you alluded to reading Dr. Joe Dispenza back in 2011, 2012, 2013, which seemingly is very early, because I think that there are still a lot of people who are just being introduced to someone like him and the work that we've been doing. So when did you sort of shift into, it sounds like you were always interested in the psychology of why people buy and sort of the neuroscience of all of that. When did you take it a step further and go into sort of subconscious reprogramming? Where did your interest get piqued, and how did you get involved in breath work?
Yes. Great question. Well, I consider that 2016 was the year that I was doing the leadership program, was the first year that I was doing coaching. And for those who don't know what coaching is the process of asking a lot of questions so you can find your own answers, right? And I started to do a lot of coaching, health coach, and I was like, wow, people are really digging in here. And I was being open to ask myself the questions. And when I start to really ask myself questions, I start to notice that some of the answers that were coming up was not really in my conscious mind. It was like a lot of questions that people were asking me and I was answering was like an automatic answer. And I was like, wow, like I didn't even know that I was thinking that. So I start to be very curious about like why I'm having like these answers, why I'm feeling these things. So I start to really like, okay, let me understand a little bit better.
Were the answers that were just coming out when you thought about it, were they not necessarily true, or you were just like, where did that come from?
Yeah, some of them were like, I don't know if that's true or not. Like I was answering questions and I was like, is that really true? Do I really believe that? So I start to like really ask myself about the answers that was coming up.
Yeah.
And some of them were like a lot of things that, yeah, I do believe that, but I don't want to believe that.
Ooh. What do you mean? Can you give me an example of something like that?
Yeah, sure. So I noticed in part of the lot of relationships that I had in my life that I was not really trusting the people that I was in a relationship with. And I was like, I don't trust him. And I was like, yeah, but I want to trust him.
Yeah.
Why I don't trust him? Like why I'm feeling that I can't trust this person. And what I found out in this journey was because I grew up in a house where my mom was saying all the time that I cannot trust anyone.
Wow.
I cannot trust a man. I cannot trust a friend. I cannot trust anyone. So I grew up all the time listening that I couldn't trust. The only people that I could trust was my mom and my dad.
Right.
And that's all. So I start to notice that I had a lot of like these beliefs we call belief or narratives or stories or all this mental chatting that we have in our mind telling us what is truth, what is not, what is right, what is wrong, what is good, what is bad. So I had all this mental chatting, and most of them I was like, I don't know if I want to agree with that. I don't want to be someone who can't trust anyone, who is always like, oh, I'm always, as we say in Portuguese, I'm always with a feet in the door, because then if something happened, I can close the door, you know?
Yeah.
So we have this expression, and I was like, I don't want to be this person, because I know in my core, in my heart, I love trusting people. I love connecting with people.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's not who I want to be.
Before you go forward for a second, what are some other examples? Because when you say that, something that comes up for me that I hear a lot with our clients is we oftentimes carry these beliefs and stories around money with us, and how we learned about money, how our parents or whoever took care of us, our caretakers, or how society or how your job sort of gives you this like financial thermostat of like, this is as high as you can go. And so we carry these beliefs around money. What other beliefs do you find working with people that get kind of passed down easily?
Before I completely answer this question, I have a great example of myself, what I'm literally right now working with my own coach. And something that I noticed was that last year I had a very big increase in my price because I couldn't get any privates anymore. So I got completely full. Like I didn't have the capacity, which is a great thing.
Yeah.
So what I did was, okay, let me increase my price and I can bring more high paid clients. And what happened was in the beginning of the year, I was not having more clients coming in, private one-on-one clients. And I start to ask myself like, wait, why is this happening? Like, I feel that I had like a big abundance of clients. A lot of people was asking me. I was like, I couldn't get anyone else to sign up. So I started to do my waiting list and all of that. And I noticed that what was happening is exactly what you said. So I start to open myself for a mindset that it was a very abundant mindset, but actually my subconscious was not programmed to the super big level that I created, that I thought I would be able to. But then I was not attracting that because I didn't have in my subconscious mind the program that I need to attract more of the clients that I want.
Can you feel your subconscious mind? Like, is it connected to your gut or your intuition, or are they separate things? Like I know I've done it because I've done it with you. I know what it means to go into your subconscious mind, but is it a feeling? Because I find so many times clients are like, no, I believe it. Like, trust me, I think it, I believe it. I've Post-it notes, I write on my mirror, I do affirmations, I journal. And yet that's not the subconscious mind. So how can you distinguish like getting in there? Can you?
Yeah, that's a great question. I don't know if I know how to answer completely.
Yeah.
I feel that there is I see your intuition and your subconscious mind as two different things working together. So I see your intuition, this thing that you can feel. So you close your eyes, you're super present in your body. You can feel your intuition talking to you. You know where to go because your intuition is there all the time. You have access to your intuition all the time.
Yeah.
Your subconscious mind, I feel that it's something that it's a program that it's in yourself. And in order for you to access that, you need to go deep. And that's what we do with Theta Breathwork. It's allowing you to go deep, go inward, for you to really find what is the program that it's being running in there and what needs to shift or change for you to create the reality that you want. So I'm not really sure if I'm answering completely your question, but it's a part of what is the difference between your subconscious and your intuition. Your intuition is like this connection that you have with your heart, with your soul, with your spirit. That's what is your intuition. Your subconscious is something, it's a program that it's in there, and you can access that if you go really deep and you access like almost like something you can grab.
Can you access it faster the more you practice accessing it?
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah.
So your subconscious, I feel that yes, there are people that they access super fast. There are people that they need a little bit more practice, and really depends. I can't answer like, yeah, if you do that, you're going to access fast. It really depends person to person. Like,
do you struggle some days? Is it like harder some days? Yeah. Yeah.
And I feel that because I am in this work for, I consider like a long time, but it's not. I still have a long way in front of me. But I feel that I learn sometimes how to trick my own mind.
Yeah.
So I don't go so deep in some moments.
Isn't that funny how we just sabotage like that?
Sometimes Nick and I, we have this conversation many times. And sometimes we ask ourselves like, is it a good thing or is it a bad thing that we start to go into this journey?
Yeah.
Because right now we are so self-aware, and like sometimes it's hard for us because we are trying to trick our own mind to not go in some space or to not change things that we know we need to change.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I can resonate with that so deeply. I bet some of the listeners can too. So I took you off tangent. I want to come back. One of the things that you did say, though, you said you're currently working with a coach, and what you recognized recently in your subconscious mind was sort of this threshold when it came to what you could hold in terms of capacity and abundance.
Yes.
So a piggyback question that I have off of that is it something that you do one session and it's fixed or healed? Is it ongoing? How long does it take to kind of rewire something? Is there a certain amount that's average? Is that different for every person? What does it look like?
Oh, great question. It's not, I don't believe that it's something that you do very fast. Mm-hmm. Can it happen? Yes, of course. There are people that they do one session, they shift a belief, and it completely changed the reality that they live. So there are like a few things that you can shift, that it can completely change all the areas in your life, and you can see a big difference happening in your life.
Yeah.
But there are some beliefs that you find one belief, but this belief is like just one part of like a big web that you have within yourself, and you need to practice. So your subconscious learn through repetition. Why affirmations, a lot of people say that it's so powerful. It's because you're repeating and repeating and repeating, and you're sending a message to your subconscious, and your subconscious start to create a different belief and start to create a different reality. So that's how it is powerful, because you do through repetition and you do many times. So there are people that there are some beliefs that they need to repeat a lot of times, and they need to tell themselves, and they need to create different ways to surround themselves with that belief so they can start to integrate that.
Yeah.
So
I don't know if it's the same for you. With me, and definitely past versions of myself, I found that, repeating it over and over, if I didn't believe it, it didn't necessarily get anchored in. Like I wasn't actually changing a subconscious belief by simply reading the Post-it note every single day or writing that I'm grateful for, right? It almost felt for me when it became a to-do list item and I was detached from like the actual feeling in my body, it didn't quote unquote work. So for me, I always need to kind of come back to like, yeah, actually, let me take a couple deep breaths. Let me center myself, ground myself, get present to the moment that I'm in, call in the gratitude in my actual heart and get out of my head. And then I can say the thing over and over and over again.
Yes, you hit the exactly point that I think it's so important that especially people who used to do the like, I'm grateful for this and like every day, 3 things that you're grateful for. Gratitude and the experience, like this high frequencies, they don't happen in the brain, they don't happen in the mind, they happen in the body.
Yeah.
The only way for you to really create this high frequency is for you to drop into your body and feeling in your body the gratitude. So just going there in your notebook and writing, oh, I'm grateful for my house. Yeah, it's not going to change anything.
No.
But if I go and close my eyes, I drop into my body and I say, oh my God, I'm so grateful for my house. And I see my house and I feel in my heart like how grateful I am right now for my house. Then is the moment that I'm creating this high frequency.
Oh,
And
I couldn't agree more.
You can probably, the listeners can hear in my voice, they can feel in the moment that I said, because I am dropping in my body and I am feeling in my body. And that's how you create the high frequency. And that's how you create the shifts that you want to shift in your subconscious. So if you're implementing a new belief, so you wrote down like a new belief that you want to implement, something that will help you 100% guarantee is for you to start to drop in your body every time that you say this belief. An affirmation, if you don't really believe, and if you're just saying for like the sake of your mind, it's not going to help you.
Yeah. Hello. I have to interrupt because I have the most exciting training for you. Our brand new masterclass called Discover How We've Created Multi-6-Figure Launches on Repeat since 2018. We are literally pulling back the curtain and showing you our proven launch system that has consistently generated 100 to 300K launches for 4+ years. This has been our most asked topic for years, and the only reason that we haven't hosted a masterclass on this before is because we are truly committed to ensuring that not only can we get results, we can get repeated results, and most importantly, we can get our clients repeated results. Yeah, no flukes here. After 4+ years, 500+ students, and a collective $13 million in revenue, I can confidently say that we figured it out. And our launch machine system works. So if launching has ever felt heavy, confusing, or like it's just not yielding the results that you desire, this masterclass is 10,000% for you. Whether you're brand spanking new to launching or you're on your 50th launch, like me, this masterclass is also for you. We're going to take your launches from where they are now to where you want to go. So be sure to head to the show notes, snag your seat, and hopefully I'll be seeing you on the live August 17th at 12 noon Eastern. I cannot wait to share our plug and play launch framework with you. The talk that you're bringing up, the conversation that we're bringing up about sort of the affirmations and the to-do list and the gratitude and the feeling it in the body and the dropping in, I can't help but think of the word manifestation. Mm-hmm. And I know something that you teach and something that you practice and something that you're very good at is manifesting. So I'd love if you could just share with our audience what you see as the difference between sort of the subconscious reprogramming that you're doing and manifestation. How are they different and how are they the same?
Oh, yeah. So the first thing that I like to say about manifestation is that for me, the way that I see manifestation is a management of energy. That's what manifestation is you learning how to manage your own energy so you can start to create that effect in the matter. So that's how I see manifestation. And in order for us to really manifest the things that we want, the most important thing and the most important part of the process I call shadow work, but you can call whatever you want. Like it's doing the work on yourself and really going inward and working the things that usually we don't want to work on.
Yeah.
It's like the hard work that we do in ourselves so we can start be in alignment so we can start to manifest. So the subconscious program, I believe that it's a part of the manifestation process. So in order for me to manifest more things and to attract more things that I want, of course, I need to work on my own beliefs and on my own programs so I can start vibrating and be in alignment of the things that I want to attract, the things that I want to create.
Yeah.
So I do believe in manifestation. A lot of people don't, and that's okay. But I do believe that in order for you to create the life that you want, you need to be in alignment and act in alignment with that. So I hear a lot of manifestation teachers and people out there saying about the energetic part, how important it is. Yes, it is important. And if you don't act, you don't have the things that you want.
Yeah.
So the doing is important. The action is important, but it's a complementary part of a big work that we do.
Say it louder for the people in the back. The action is important, because even what you're talking about, going into your subconscious mind and reprogramming your own beliefs and thoughts, that in itself is an action. That is doing. So you go deeper, you reprogram, then there's also things that you get to live into in your life, the way that you act, the way that you be, the way that you speak, the people that you're surrounding yourself with, the actions that you take towards your goal, right? Or your manifestation. So there are so many different elements to it. Oh, I love it.
Something that I always bring in the Theta Breathwork sessions is exactly always in the end, whenever you went through the work, you release the things that you need to release, you work on yourself. I always ask, what is your intuitive action? What is that your intuition is asking you to act on? Yeah. Because you always have a doing part. You become, you do for you to attract the things that you want.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about Theta Breathwork, because I've done a lot of breath work, and people listening probably have done breath work as well. My first experience with doing breath work with you, Theta Breathwork, was very different than what I had experienced in the past. So I don't know if I'm right, if I'm wrong, but some of the breath work that I've experienced in the past was different ways of breathing, maybe in through the mouth twice, out through the mouth, circular breathing, standing up doing it, laying down doing it. I've had breath work where we're screaming, like visceral, just animalistic screaming and yelling, and almost you're laying there, but you're sort of like throwing a tantrum, right? Like kicking and shaking energy out. And then I experienced Theta Breathwork with you for the first time. And I remember telling you after our very first session that it wasn't hard. Not to say it wasn't work, but it wasn't hard. Like, I have done breath work where I literally lost my voice because of the screaming and like animalistic approach that was taken. So I did breath work with you for the first time. I felt elevated. I felt clear. I felt energized. I felt all these things, but I didn't feel exhausted and I didn't feel drained. And that was huge for me. So full transparency, Mike and I decided to hire you, and we brought you in, and you did Theta Breathwork with our entire team during our last launch. And it was incredible. Like, it was the coolest experience. We did multiple sessions with you. We set intentions. We had the team doing it. Mike and I had our own separate sessions together. And it was just such a beautiful way to show up for our team, but more importantly, for the ideal clients, for the prospects, for the customers that were coming through our launch journey. Can you walk us through what is the Theta Breathwork? How is it different than other breathwork, and how did you come up with it?
Yes. So in my journey, I had many different techniques and modalities that I went through that really, really impact me. And some of them I decided to become certified on it because it was so impactful in my life. So every time that I have something that it's like, oh my God, this is like create a big impact, I'm always curious to learn more about. So that's what I did. That's what I did with theta healing. That's what I did with breathwork. That's what I did with hypnosis. That's what I did with a lot of modalities that are included in Theta Breathwork. So I think what is amazing about Theta Breathwork is that it is a combination of many different techniques that really worked and impacted my life. And I think that's why, because I needed to create something that was so impactful to bring to life. So the first thing that I want to share about Theta Breathwork is that it is a combination of many different techniques. It's not only breathwork. And the definition of term breathwork is this connected, conscious breathing that we do, right? So there are many, 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 many modalities of breathwork nowadays. If you go on Google, if you go on Instagram, you're going to find many different types of breathwork. And I think the most important thing that I want to say, and this is like personally, in order for me to feel what feels good for me and what is the best type of thing that I want to do, I try many. So I have tried many type of breathworks, many type of techniques to really like giving me what resonates and what is the best option for me. So that's the first thing that I recommend to everybody who is listening is, in order for you to really understand what is the best thing for you, try different options and really experience different things. So you can say to yourself, oh, like this is what makes sense. That's what is in alignment for me. Yeah. So I love that you shared that, because I'm happy that we were aligning that theta breathwork, and it was something that really resonated to you.
Yeah. And we say that all the time, take what you want and leave the rest, right? I think there's so much power in that.
Yeah. So theta breathwork starts with theta healing. Theta healing is one healing modality that really helps you to really, really connect to your source, your God, whatever is the word that you believe, divine, creator, God, Jesus, whatever is the word that resonates to you.
We say pizza at DBE.
Yeah, exactly. Or pizza.
Pizza.
Perfect.
That's the universe.
Exactly. So connect with that source and really connect with you in a way that you really, really feel that you have the answers that you are looking for, and you are supported and you are guided. So that's what theta healing did with me. And also help me when you are connected to that source, when you are inward, you can change the things that you want to change. So we were talking about subconscious reprogram in theta healing, in breathwork and hypnosis, this theta breathwork combination, you can really go inward, connect to source, and shift the things that you want to shift. So the breathwork part is the more physical experience that we have. So what we do through this breathing pattern that we do in theta breathwork is a 3 parts breathing pattern, and we really increase the oxygen in your body. And when we do that, we change the way that your brain works. So that's why a lot of people feel a lot of things in their body, because it shifted the oxygen balance in your body, shifted the way that your brain works. So usually we are operating through the negative thinking pattern. We are operating to our belief system activation. So we are always saying like, this is good, this is bad, this is right, this is wrong. So we want to quiet down these parts of the brain so we really can go inward, connect with our intuition, change the subconscious beliefs that we have. So that's the breathing pattern and the breathwork part that we do. And then we have the hypnosis as well. The hypnosis, which a lot of people, when I talk about hypnosis, I feel that it's still like growing their awareness around what hypnosis is, but a lot of people had that image of like someone being quack, quack. You're not conscious, you're not there, and you're like, oh my God, what? No, this is not what we do.
No.
The hypnosis part is just like really putting you in a very deep state so we can change and plant the right seeds for you to feel empowered. So we plant the beliefs and the seeds that you need for you to feel empowered. So you are worthy, you are enough, you are capable. All these beliefs that will help and will support for you to create a life in alignment with what you want. And then the last part is the intuition action, right? So we really help you to find, okay, so I see all of that, I feel all of that, I'm releasing all of that, and then what? Yeah. What is next? What is my next step? What is in alignment? What is the message that I need to receive? What is that my intuition is like screaming inside of me? And that's the last part. And that's what I think Theta Breathwork is so special, is because it really helps you to find the actions that are in alignment with your own truth and not what everybody else is saying you that you must do. So I think with the world that we live, we have a lot of like, oh, in order for you to do that, you need to do this step and do this strategy and follow this. And I don't believe in that. I believe that, yes, there are a lot of strategies to help us to grow. There are a lot of strategies for us to know, but the best action is the one that your intuition and your heart knows that you need to act on.
Yeah. And it's so hard to even hear our own intuition or our own guidance or our own gut or whatever that is, because there's so much noise, not just on social media, not just with resources available to us or, internet. It's just, we're constantly consuming. I'm reading a book right now, and it said, this was in 2006. So it said back in the 70s, we were approached with about 50 different marketing ads per day per person. In 2006, it was up to 5,000 times we were seeing marketing ads per person. That was in 2006. It's 2022. I can't even imagine what that number is right now, that we're just being sort of fed thoughts and beliefs and information and opportunities and all of this stuff. So as someone who's done theta breathwork with you a handful of times, and I've listened to the recordings, gosh, day after day after day, so dozens and dozens of times, I love that you actually, I know that you did there, you broke it down for us in these 4 different sections that you do. And just to speak to the hypnosis part, I do think it's still very taboo. I think oftentimes people are scared of hypnosis. I don't want to come out clucking like a chicken or take my clothing off or be embarrassed. But what I think it's important for people to understand is you, Bia, are not inserting new beliefs into our brains. You are totally conscious of what's going on. And what you do such a beautiful job at is you actually prompt us with questions that we then answer in our own mind. So you might ask a question of, how would it feel if you did XYZ? How would it feel when you do whatever that thing is that you were setting out to do? And then my response in my brain is what's really setting into that intention or that affirmation or whatever that might be. So you're not necessarily planting the seed in my brain. You're helping guide me to plant the seed in my brain, which was already there. And then with the action part at the end and the intention part, one of my favorite things is that when you have us sort of come back, you have us immediately write what came up for you. How are you feeling? What questions do you have? What actions do you want to take? What weird memories came up? What thoughts are you having? What new ideas are you having? And just that permission and space that you give, I say us because you do this with many people, but the permission and space that you give us to sit quietly for like 3 minutes and just brain dump out after doing such a powerful exercise it's just massive. I mean, for us during launch, we had some of our best ideas. Mike came up with 2-3 different ideas that we implemented while we were already in launch, while doors were open. And we made these like minor tweaks that came through during breathwork, which is just incredible. Can you talk for a second just about some of the like physical things that people sometimes feel during breathwork? Because again, I think it's something that scares a lot of people.
Yeah. And I think it's so important to talk about this part, and a lot of people don't talk about that. And I had situations where, giving an extreme example, but I have a in-person session that I did here in Austin. And I had a girl who, she was diabetic, and she had her blood sugar going super high while she was doing that.
Wow.
So it can cause a lot of reactions in your body. It's very important that you are aware. And I think this is a practice for you to really get connected to your body and to really feel the things that it's going on in your body. And we tend to numb a lot of things that we experience because of the crazy world that we live, receiving a lot of information and the things that we already spoke about. But I think some of the main things that people experience is, and I do experience a lot of that when I do, one of the things is I feel my body very cold. Mm-hmm. So I feel very, very cold, even if I'm like in an environment where it's not cold at all, and I'm feeling very cold. And then by the end, I'm feeling like I'm sweating sometimes. So it's very common that you experience that. The other thing is your hands clamping. It's very common. Like I have sessions where people like, they literally like they can't move their hands and they are feeling like the hands clamping like that. And they like, oh, but then by the end they already like release. And that's a very, very important exercise that we do. So for example, if I ask you to close your eyes right now and to take a deep breath and hold, and then I ask you to really, really contract your whole body, all the muscles in your body, and just contract. Yes. Really, really holding all your muscles in your body and contracting, and then you release. How do you feel right now?
Well, for one, more relaxed. And for two, there's just blood rushing to like my fingertips and the bottoms of my legs and my toes. And it kind of feels like it almost washes down from my brain into the rest of my body.
So that's a big part of what happens in breathwork.
Yeah.
It really helps you to, one, feel and connect completely with your body. So you physically feel your body. And most of the time you're not physically connecting, like really aware of everything that is going on. Second, it gives you like the power to really release the things that it's stuck, that it's hurting, that it's heavy, that it's suppressed. So a lot of the emotions that we feel, they are suppressed in our body and we are not really aware. And they are creating blockades. They are creating stagnant energy in our body. So whenever you do the breath work, it's going to help you to release and feel this like, feel relaxed. I feel more present. I feel more focused. I feel more energized.
Yeah.
So this is the physical experience that you can have. Sometimes I ask people when they are doing the session, if it is too much, if it is like hurting you, just slow down your breathing and you're going to see that you're going to start to be back in your body and the sensations will be released.
Yeah. I feel like an average breathwork session with you is 30 minutes or so, 40 minutes, 20, 30, 40 minutes.
I do have so what I did with you and I do for a few private clients is sometimes I record like a 15 minutes, a 18 minutes quick session for you to do in your day to day. So you can start your day with that. So you can release the things and really empower you to be in alignment with what you want to create. Yeah. But usually when I do like group sessions, when I'm doing like a full session, it is around like 30, 35. Sometimes it depends on the topic that we are approaching, 40 minutes, but that's the max that I go, like 40 is the max.
Would you say that someone could get some benefit out of whether it's 2 minutes or just a couple deep breaths throughout the day if they're finding themselves really stressed or stuck, or quite literally doesn't have 15 minutes? Because that actually is not super fast for people. So is there benefit to just shortening it?
Yes. So I was just like recording a Reels actually for my Instagram. And I was sharing this 3 type of breathing that you can do every single day that takes a few minutes, like probably 1-2 minutes sometimes.
Yeah.
And I call them the water breathing, the green tea breathing, and the chamomile breathing. So what does that mean? So the water is something that you can do at any time. So you need water all the time. So you can do this breathing many times a day, whenever you want, whenever you bring your conscious to, you can bring this breathing, which is a 4 seconds inhale through your nose and 4 seconds exhale out through your mouth. So it's simply like inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, exhale out through your mouth 4, 3, 2, 1. And you repeat this 10, 20 times. So that's a very simple one that you can do many times a day. The green tea breathing is something for you to feel energized, to give you a little bit that caffeine in your body. So this is one that I recommend for you to do in the morning so you feel more energized. So it's exhale in 1 second through your nose, but what is going to make the strength to do this breathing is your abs. So you're going to exhale, your exhale is going to be very active and your inhale is going to be very passive. So it's going to feel like almost you are just exhaling in 1 second. So it's going to sound like that. And you are doing this breathing through your abs, through your belly. So it's your belly that it's making the strength to put the air out. Yeah. So you do this for 1 minute, 2 minutes, you're going to feel very energized. You're going to feel like a little bit, maybe a little bit dizzy.
Yeah, I was going to say, it makes me a little lightheaded. Is that okay?
Yeah. Is that okay? Yeah. Perfect. It's for you to just shift the energy in your body because you are changing the oxygen balance again in your body. So this is going to help you to, let me wake up. Let me be more focused. Let me be more energized. And the chamomile tea, which is the one for you to do at night. So it's going to help. It's going to help you to shift from sympathetic to parasympathetic. It's going to help you to go to rest and digest. It's going to help you to slow down and calm down and rest and relax. So this is inhale in 4 seconds through your nose and exhale in 8 seconds through your nose as well. So you're going to inhale in 1, 2, 3, 4, exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's a long exhale.
That's nice.
So it's really what we call also like a cleanse breath because it's going to help you to just relax, to reset your nervous system and to really go in a very relaxing state.
I love it. Oh my gosh. I could literally talk to you all day. There are things we have not even touched on that I want to talk about. So I definitely want to get on another podcast episode. We're going to bring Nick on too. I want to talk about working together with your spouse because that is one of the number one questions that Mike and I always get, but we are up at our time here and I want to be mindful of your time. So can we end it with just a couple rapid fire questions?
Yes.
This has just been so much fun. What are you currently reading?
I'm reading a book about breathwork. It's called The Perfect Guide of Breathwork, something like that.
What's one of your favorite meals?
Sushi.
What are you most excited for in the next month?
To create the Theta Breathwork certification.
Ooh, I'm so excited for that.
I said it. It's
You did.
here.
I'm so excited for that. Oh my goodness. If I were to hand you a check tomorrow for $50,000, how would you spend it or invest it in the business? What would you focus it on?
I would focus in the certification and help people because my desire is to put Theta Breathwork all over the world and have at least one coach in each country all over the world. So I would invest in the certification and help more people to have this tool.
Oh, it's so good. Okay, so we end every episode with this before we tell people where to find you. We believe that our businesses are a direct reflection of ourselves, and they will only grow to the extent that we grow. And we believe that we're always evolving, hence digital business evolution. So what is your next business or personal evolution?
That's a great question. I think one of the things that I decided to invest was in this coach that I just started working with her. And I'm very, very excited because she's someone that it's going to help me to really expand my beliefs around my business and to really have more capacity to hold more space for more people all over the world. So I think that's the biggest investment that I did. Did I answer it right?
Yeah. Just what's like the next evolution? What's the next pivot? What's the next thing? Whatever that is, you answered it right.
Yeah, I think it's like invest in myself. I do also believe that my business can only grow if I'm growing because I am my business. And because I'm still in the beginning of the business, I think it's very important that I am growing and evolving with it. I will get in a place where the business is way bigger than I am. Like it's not even me that it's deciding things anymore, probably. We will get there, but for now, I think it's very, very important that I invest in myself. So that's my next evolution. I'm investing in myself to really like create the programs, create the beliefs, create the system that I need in my body, in my life, the habits, everything that I need to be the person that I want to be for the business and to grow with my business.
Well, my goodness, you are walking the walk. It is so cool to see. So, Bia, where can people find you? What are you working on? How can they work with you? How can they connect with you?
Well, there are many ways that we can work together. I have my membership, which is a very low ticket price for people to just join. We do a live session every month. We have a connection call every month. You have access to the recording. So it's literally a library that you can have access to all the recordings, meditations as well, for you to have in your pocket all the time, the guidance and the help that you need. So you can find this on my website, which is theta-breathwork.com. You just put there and you're going to find all the information. I work also privately with clients, which is my favorite thing. I love because then we go deeper in the things and I really ask you a lot of questions and we really work specific on your beliefs, which is different than group scenarios. You probably know that. The group scenarios, we can't really go that deep because we have a big group of people, and privately I go very, very deep. And I also work with corporates. So I help teams and I help with launch. I help in your case, I help with launch. I help with just like the goals and everybody being the same page and release and give wellness. Like it's so important that more business help their team to be in a space where they want to contribute. They want to be in alignment. They want to feel good about themselves and the business. So I help teams with that as well. And I also do a lot of in-person sessions here in Austin. So I'm working with a few different studios and I'm always meeting new studios and going to different space to create in-person experience and wellness retreats.
You're all over the place. I love it.
All over the place.
I love it. And on Instagram, where can people find you?
Beatrice BB, or you can find Theta Breath.
All right. Amazing. Well, as always, oh man, I'm so grateful for you. I can't wait to have you back. I know I'm definitely going to because there's so much that we didn't even touch upon. But if you loved this episode, please, please, please take a screenshot of it, share it on social media, tag Bia at BEATRIZVB. And of course, tag me at I am Jessica DeRose. Tell us what your biggest takeaway was, or tell us a time that you tried breathwork or the next time you're going to try breathwork, because it is the best gift that we can give back to our guest experts that come on, is letting them know what you got out of the episode. And I can't wait to see who signs up with you, because I swear just one session can change so much.
Yes.
As
Thank
always.
you so much.
Yeah. Cheers to your evolution. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you loved this episode, I invite you to be a part of our ripple effect and share it with a friend. And please, if you feel called, take 30 seconds to leave a 5-star review, and I'll be forever grateful. Until next time, cheers to your evolution.